BioWare considered free-to-play for Anthem, and the Copyright Office rejects Carlton actor Alfonso's request to have his dance copyrighted. All that and more. I'm Ethos, and this is Free to Play Weekly. First off in the news this week, in honor of Valentine's Day and to show their players a little love, the Fortnite team had something special for its players. The team had decided to grant every player who completed 13 free overtime challenges by February the 22nd the Season 8 Battle Pass for free. When the Season 8 Battle Pass hits, it will include 2 new outfits and provide players the opportunity to earn 5 more. Effectively, that means players can get up to now 7 new outfits for free. Now that's definitely showing some love. And speaking of Fortnite, with all due respect to other performance artists who have recently taken to filing legal action against game companies for their use of dance moves in video games, it's Alfonso Ribeiro, aka Carlton from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who captured the lion's share of the attention. Late last year, he sued Epic Games for its use of the Fresh dance in Fortnite Battle Royale, and also Take-Two for its use in NBA 2K. But it turns out that his request for copyright was refused last month. According to The Hollywood Reporter, a supervisory registration specialist in California has refused Ribeiro's claim, telling his attorney that registration must be refused because of his claimed choreographic work was a simple dance routine. Of note is the question as to whether Ribeiro owns the move in the first place, since it was first created for the network TV show. While the lack of a copyright might not make a lawsuit impossible, it seems unlikely that Ribeiro will see much, if anything, from the legal proceedings. Complicating this matter even further is the fact that he has admitted to being inspired by other sources when creating the Carlton, and it's also appeared in several other games over the years, including Guild Wars 2. And that concludes today's edition of MMO Bomb Celebrity News Edition. So we've known for a while that half of Nexon was for sale, and we've also known that Tencent was one of its bidders. Oh, hold on, wait, we didn't know that. Well, maybe it wasn't with absolute certainty, but where there's a big game company up for sale, it's a near guarantee that Tencent will be involved in the transaction. The Korea Times is reporting that Netmarble, along with Tencent and a private equity fund, has formed a consortium to purchase the share of NXC Corp, which is owned by Nexon founder Kim Jong-ju and controls 47.98% of Nexon. At nearly $9 billion in value, Kim's stake is too much for one company to afford, the Korean Times says, while also saying that Tencent has as much as $100 billion in cash reserves. Despite it being headquarters in Japan, Nexon has strong Korean ties. A Netmarble official is quoted as saying that if Nexon is sold to an overseas firm, the Korean game industry and the ecosystem could be damaged and its competitiveness weakness. While the statement refers to other interested companies not located in Asia, it might also explain why Netmarble is getting top billing in the transaction over Tencent, even if the Chinese company might foot most of the bill. Years from now, we'll be talking about how in early 2019, the entire landscape of Battle Royale was changed forever, and how one particular title will always come to mind, a game that came out of nowhere and captivated players and proved that you could take an old formula and merge it with modern sensibilities to create a breakout hit. Now, you might be thinking I'm talking about Apex Legends, but no. We're talking about Tetris 99, a new free-to-play game title for the Nintendo Switch, provided you already own a Switch Online membership. Imagine this. In large-scale 99-player battles, it'll take speed, skill, and strategy to knock out the competition and become the last player standing. You can target opponents by sending them garbage blocks, but be careful, your rivals can target you back. Defeat opponents to acquire KO badges that may give you the advantage on future attacks. Survive the onslaught and look forward to the upcoming online events. Now, amazing as that sounds, I think Nintendo should make a real Tetris Battle Royale in PUBG or Fortnite style, where the only weapons you can find are various blocks that fall from the sky, and they can model them after real weapons easily enough. Like, imagine like an I block being a club, an L block being a rifle, a T block being like a shield, and a square being a grenade. But the Z block, however, would still be worthless, as it, well, should be. And finally, in some very interesting news out of left field, now almost free to play is probably pushing it, but that's the title of Edge magazine when talking about Anthem in an interview with BioWare's Jonathan Warner and Ben Irving. Warner called free to play an interesting business model, picking out Marvel Heroes as an example, and says that the studio discussed a free to play model early on, but that it just wasn't the direction the company was moving in. Producer Ben Irving then went on to say this, and I quote, If you go free to play, you still have to have a profitable business, or we can't continue to do an amazing live service for all of our amazing players. So what would you really be trading if you gave the game away for free? There's all that money you'd have to make to be profitable, and so then you get into territory of being less player generous. Now, Ben's pretty correct about how free-to-play games need to be a bit more restrictive on how it hands things out to encourage players to spend more, but I feel like there is one thing that needs to be noted. Too many times, a lot of people seem to diss free-to-play, saying that it's worse in the case of less player generous than, let's say, a paid system that you'd be using. But the reason behind those statements is a justification for asking gamers to pay for your game instead of getting it free. Now, it's fine for your game to be non-free-to-play, but if your reasoning is less about how much your game is worth it and more about how bad free-to-play is, and later down the road you ever need to go to free-to-play, then you're basically admitting that your game was worse for it. Now, it's highly probable that Anthem will probably never go free-to-play, but you never know, so we'll just keep this quote for later. And moving on to the question of the week. So, it's been a lot of news about Battle Royale, I know. Some of you guys are very annoyed by it. Some of you guys are actually pretty excited. I personally have been really enjoying Apex Legends. That's personally my favorite one, but let me know in the comments below which Battle Royale game you currently like the most, whether it's a paid one or if it is free to play. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments section below. And that's it for this week's Free to Play Weekly. Don't forget to check out mmobomb.com for giveaways and the latest news. My name is Ethos, and I'll catch you guys next week.